Hello, welcome to CLSP Politics. Sean Briscoe speaking. So we're looking at South Carolina. Now, I know a lot of you think, oh, it's South Carolina, southern state, red, blah, blah, blah. South Carolina's got some unique things going for it. And I'm kind of think this might be a sleeper Senate win for the Democrats. There's some real smart people working in that state, and it's interesting. So when you look at it, it's a mixed state. You've got blue, you got red, you got the white 50-50 counties, but it's not like straight up red. Not like what you hear, and certainly not what the past votes have indicated. This state is in flux. This is the next Georgia, the next North Carolina. This state's definitely got things going on. And when you look at it demographically speaking, it's everybody. I mean, so yeah, those red areas are where it's majority white, but this looks like a minority majority state to me. And if it's a minority majority state, and the Republicans are throwing their lot in with Christian white nationalists, it's not such a terrible thing. Real quick, before we go any further down the rabbit hole in South Carolina, like and subscribe if you haven't. I'm on YouTube, Blue Sky, Instagram, TikTok, Substack. If you wish to donate to this channel, you can go to my YouTube as a PayPal. That's also a QR code for the PayPal. If you go to my Substack, you can become a monthly subscriber, and then you can see all sorts of extra stuff that I do post. Or if you're running for office and you've got some questions and you've kind of run into a wall, you can hit me up at sean@clsbpolitics.com. All right, moving on. I'm going to blow this up so it's easier to read. So this is kind of what the field looks like right now. And if you'll notice at the very top is the other factor for South Carolina, and that's Lindsey Graham. He is underwater in polling in South Carolina. Like, even the Republicans don't like him very much. He's kind of I don't know, he's gross. Ugh. And then every time he stands next to Trump and talks, he looks like a sycophant, which is great for the MAGA primary Republican voter, right? They love it when, their elected officials look upon their great leader with some kind of benevolence or what have you. But yeah. So when you look at how much money is in the primary so far, Republican and Democrat, you see Lindsey's got Mark Lynch, who's raising, this was also September, almost $5 million. Lindsey's sitting at 14. And I mean, if you think, oh, that's a lot of money, it's actually about 25% less than other incumbent senators have. Like Ossoff's got over 21 million at this time. He's more than that now, I'm sure of it. So Lindsey's actually raising underwhelmingly as opposed to his counterparts in the Senate. And then you've got on the Democrat side, you got Annie Andrews, who raised 1.1 as of September, and has been saying that she's raised another 4. I'll have to wait till the reports come out. And I do have a little bit of polling information. The generic Democrat against Lindsey Graham really is only a 2-point gap. And that's great for generic. But then you got to go look at, well, what candidates do we have, right? And like I said, when you look at the money, Annie Andrews, who's white female doctor, who's running, her problem is the demographic of her vote is not white. It's minority with a percentage of white, but the vast majority, it's African American. That goes for her primary and her general. So she's not a generic candidate. She's an outlier candidate. And in fact, even with all the money she's raising, she does worse against Lindsey than a generic. Which brings me to look at the rest of the field. Who else has jumped in? And what do they got going for them? And that leaves you Brandon Brown, who's probably the best candidate versus Lindsey Graham, minus money. Brandon Brown's held office and run an office and understands how this whole thing works. He got in late, so we don't have any campaign finance information on him yet, and we won't until the end of January. And also, he got in late, so he's still fundraising and pulling his money together. But Brandon Brown's African American, I don't know, 10th generation, 12th generation, something like that. South Carolinian, family's been there forever, comes out of ministers and preachers and such. So he actually has the background of a better than generic candidate for South Carolina. So, I mean, of course, the primary voters got to decide, but if you're picking a horse to run in this race, Brandon Brown's probably your best pick. And it's just now all about the money. But if you go with Annie, you're looking at a harder race to win. But hey, Lindsey Graham can open his mouth and who knows what's going to happen. He says some really dumb stuff sometimes. Historically, because to be honest, this state falls in the same trap as no investment by the Democratic Party. DNC, the DSCC have never invested any real money in South Carolina. There's no party infrastructure. The South Carolina Democratic Party is got the problems that a party would have if there's no investment, no infrastructure. So there's always been problems. And the last time a Senate race ran, those problems were obviously very relevant. So you get an R plus 25 that way, just how it works out. So yeah, that's kind of what this state looks like. It's an interesting state. I think if the right candidate gets through the primary and they're able to raise enough money and get the infrastructure and knock on the doors necessary to win this seat, and it's a lot of doors, and you're going into communities that haven't been knocked since the advent of the combustion engine, probably. I mean, it's also a rural and agriculture state. And as we know, the farmers have lost a lot of love for the GOP. So, I mean, there's a lot of things going for this state, this cycle. Not just the fact Lindsey Graham's Lindsey Graham. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. I'm on all of the platforms that you see here, plus Facebook. You can find me there. I'm just under my name, Sean Briscoe. You'll find all my videos there too. CLSBpolitics.com is my website. You can check me out. All right. Hope everyone has a good week and a nice weekend. I'll be putting out more of these throughout the weekend. So if you're interested, we've got a few more states left to look at. And then we should wrap this up about a week and a half before the new data comes out. So then I'll start this over again, but be way more particular. But this state, South Carolina, is one of the ones I'm going to be watching the whole cycle. So you'll get an update for this state for sure. All right. Talk to you later.